Welcome to Round on the Ground. My name is Jide and I'm here with Ifeanyi and Vincent. Ifeanyi, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Vincent, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you for having me.
Okay, we are going to be taking you through the Nations Cup. Nigeria is squaring up against South Africa. Guys, are you ready to go?
Oh yeah, we are.
Very ready.
South Africa versus Egypt. What did you make of the match, Ifeanyi?
Well, Egypt were the favourites to beat South Africa, but we noticed that South Africa played on the counter and they scored on the counter. And they have a dangerous player, Persitao, who plays between the lines, between the midfield and the defence to create spaces for his strikers. And he's a very good player, which could be a threat for Nigeria when we play them. Vincent,
did you expect in any way that South Africa was going to come out tops against Egypt?
I wouldn't have ever thought that. Looking at the team playing on the counter against Egypt, that was a very good tactic to go with against a versatile team like Egypt. Now looking at their team, where you have Tau, you have Loch, and then not forgetting that Motiba. Those three players, they're always on the fast lane. I'm going to say they're always quite swift with their play.
Okay, but what really went right for the South Africans and what went wrong for the Egyptians?
Looking at the Egyptian team, let me start with the Egyptian team. They were quite wasteful. When you're looking at the chances Trezeguet had, losing some key good goal scoring opportunities. And the South African team matched each player on the Egyptian team. You could see that their wing backs were quite on the same pace as Salah and Trezeguet, so they had no opportunity to penetrate into the box setting of the South African team.
Okay. Well, let me just digress a little bit and ask you, Ifeanyi, in terms of the Ballon d'Or, everybody has been talking about Mo Salah in the Ballon d'Or mix. How do you think going out of the Nations Cup affects his chances?
He's out. He's out of the Nations Cup, he's out of the Ballon d'Or, he's out of every award that is remaining in Europe and in the world.
Well, the good thing for him might also be that Messi didn't win the Copa America as well. So maybe a few of the contenders also had their downs.
Alisson Becker, Liverpool goalkeeper, he has 3 Golden Gloves this season. He's already in. We talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has won the Italian Serie A. He won the best player in Italy. He's in. We talk about Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane is still in the African Nations Cup. Yeah, so I think Salah's season this season was worse than last season.
Okay, let's go back to the match that we are discussing, Nigeria against South Africa. So in terms of what the South Africans produced against Egypt, what should the Super Eagles expect?
I feel the Super Eagles should expect a fast team that plays on the counter attack, that presses high up the pitch. So the Super Eagles players, they need to be on their game. They need to be concentrated. They need to pass the ball out quickly, and they shouldn't play out of the back, which they tried in their group games and which they tried against Madagascar that cost us. That's that.
Okay, in the Super Eagles last match against Cameroon, they were also the underdog. Yeah. And Nigeria went up first and then we went down again. Cameroon led at 2-1. Vincent, what went through your mind at that point when Cameroon was leading 2-1?
I guess I had the same pressure as Kanu. I'm sure you'd have seen Kanu's reaction all through the game. I got scared for the country, let's be sincere. I was actually scared that we wouldn't go through. But then looking at the change Genatra did, bringing in Chukwueze, taking off the pressure of Iwobi in the middle of the pack. So you could see he attracted the opponents to himself, leaving Ahmed Musa and Iwobi with Igalo free. So that's why we were able to distribute the ball better while after bringing on Chukwueze.
Okay, so I mean, what do you make of the tactics? I mean, the way Nigerians started and the way we finished the match compared to how we are supposed to start against South Africa.
Yeah, you would expect us to start better just as we began the second half of the Cameroonian game. Because if you are looking at it, you wouldn't want to start on a slow on the slow parts.
No, but I mean, sorry to cut you short, right? The South Africans were very fast against the Egypt. There's a contrast of style because the Super Eagles are not exactly very fast. I mean,
we have our fast wingers. You wouldn't say we don't have those fast players, but then looking at the South African team, we can match them pace by pace. That's the truth. We can match them with our paceful players, and if we go in that way, it might be dangerous for us. So we need to keep our cool. That's the first thing we need to do. We need to keep our cool and then ensure we distribute the ball right there in the midfield. Then our players shouldn't go too far wide. They need to come in a bit to assist Iwobi in picking up the ball and then distributing to our centre forward, Igalo. I expect Igalo to start.
Obviously, I mean, looking at our last match, the last match we lost in the Nations Cup, it was against an underdog. Considering that South Africa is also an underdog, and we have only lost to them once, I think in Akwa Ibom, once in about 30-something matches, over 30 matches. I mean, could this be a potential banana skin for Nigeria again? Do you think the Super Eagles will underrate the Bafana?
I believe we learned our lessons from the way we lost in Uyo, judging that Abeyi was our goalkeeper and they still played the same way they played. And when we played them in Johannesburg, I feel we did well, just that the referee cost us. So judging by how we lost against Madagascar, I put that Madagascar loss as an error by Gernot Rohr by choosing two slow players to play in the midfield. When you notice that Madagascar is a very fast team. So you played John Ogu and Mikel Obi in the midfield, which cost us, and the error by Leon Balogun. So I feel that looking at South Africa, we are not going to underrate them, and we'll play our game and we'll beat them.
Okay, talking about errors, right? A lot of people have been talking about the weaknesses of the Nigerian goalkeeping position. What do you make of that?
I believe the goalkeeping position is actually the weak department in the Super Eagles right now, because we have Uzoho, who is not really experienced. We have Ezenwa that plays for Enyimba, who has not been playing. He has been on the bench to Theophilus Afelokai, and Theophilus couldn't make the team. Now you now have an Abeyi that is prone to errors, and he has showed us this in the tournaments with his ball handling. He can't read crosses. He can't shout at his defenders. When you look at the first goal Cameroon scored us, he couldn't tell Omero to position, and the goal went in. So if judging by the way we play and judging by the way South Africans play, our defense can hold them, but I'm not sure of our goalkeeper.
Okay, I mean, looking at Nigeria, a nation of almost 200 million people, we have talent here and there. Are you going to say this is the best we can do in terms of the goalkeeping position? What is really wrong? Nigeria, we've always rolled out fantastic goalkeepers. What do you think the problem is, Vincent?
I'll say our scouting department hasn't done pretty well for the Nigerian national team, because I'm sure we would have identified goalkeepers that can do better than the three goalkeepers we have currently in the team. I think we have someone called Okafor, who plays in the German Bundesliga league, who I think has really been a standout goalkeeper for the past couple of years. So he's still young. I think he's about 22 or 21. So he's still someone that can still come into the team, to build a place for himself.
Okay. Talking about building a place for yourself, let me take it to the other side of people who have reached their peak for the Super Eagles. Let's talk about John Mikel Obi. What do you think his impact has been in the Nations Cup? And I mean, what do you think his impact has been? And do you think it is time for Mikel Obi to quit the national team?
Well, I feel it's time for him to quit the national team. He has been a unifying factor in the team. He's actually the unifying factor in the team when it comes to this leadership discussions around bonuses and pay. He has been the one standout person. He has been the person that has motivated the team. But in the field of play, if Gernot Rohr does not play him as a defensive midfielder and tries to play him as a 10, I don't think he has a place in the team. judging by the fact that Iwobi is trying to make the position his own, and we have Kelechi Nwakali who can come and play in that position. I think I feel that this should be Mikel's last tournament with the national team.
Oh, but I mean, in terms of leadership, you also need somebody to be there and say, okay, you've got to do this. This is how to be to coordinate all those things. Is he supposed to quit now, or is he supposed to go to the bench and then be used sparingly?
If he goes to the bench, he takes the place of another player that can come into the game and change the game for us. I believe we have leaders. We have Igalo, who is experienced. We have Ahmed Musa, who is also experienced, who has been a captain, was the captain before Mikel. So if he goes, we still have Ahmed Musa.
Okay. So Vincent, I'll put you on the spot first. Yeah. Do you think Nigeria is going to win? And what do you think the scoreline would be?
I think it's going to be slim. So I think I'll go with a 2-1. So I keep on considering.
2-1 Nigeria?
Yes.
Is it because of patriotism or?
Oh, no. But obviously patriotism has to count in.
Okay, so let me go back to you and put you on the spot as well.
Okay, looking at our playing personnel and the goalkeeper. Well, we are going to beat them by 3-1.
3?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we scored 3 against Cameroon, so you think we can keep it up?
Yeah, I do, because I feel that we have some jokers on the bench. We have Henry Onyekuru from Galatasaray. We have Samuel Chukwueze, which I feel the Ganacho could throw in as against using Moses Simon, due to the fact that we are playing a very fast team. So when they hit us on the counter, we'll have to hit them on the counter too when they lose the ball. And I feel it will be a high-scoring game, and Super Eagles will win.
Who should we be scared of in the South African team?
I think I'll go with Lodge.
Okay.
Yeah, very pacey player, skillful as well. But we won't be forgetting Tao.
Odion Igalo has had a fantastic tournament so far. What are your expectations from him?
He's not my very best player to start in that position. I would prefer Victor Osimhen to start in the position. But he's actually a key player. He knows how to score. He knows what to do in the box. So I'm expecting him to probably get the golden boot.
No, but make me understand, why would you prefer a Victor Osimhen in the place of a guy that has delivered? In this Nations Cup, he's probably the best striker so far. Yeah. Scored 2 goals in the last match with 1 assist. Came in to rescue the match at our first match. I mean, why would any manager want to drop him?
I have a bias for younger players and more mobile players.
Oh, I have a bias for players that do the job.